So am I the only one sick of seeing all the positivity around the Earthrise Toyline? Like, everyone keeps acting like nothing is wrong. Like this. This is fine to you? This? Let me back up a bit. Let's start off by telling you the very first thing Earthrise did to put me off it altogether. Simply put, it's not Siege. Siege was the line that was made for me. I was all in on it, and it was everything I wanted it to be. And the reason for that is, I hate Cybertronian alt modes. Hate them. All they ever are is a giant pile of nothing. They turn into nothing. They're alien vehicles. They shouldn't look like human cars. But they look like nothing. They might as well turn into this. So when I first heard about Siege, I was like, no. And then I saw Siege, and I was like, oh my god, they look like things. Actual vehicles, futuristic cyber cars, not bullshit. I was ecstatic. Sure, maybe they could have looked a little more alien. Bumblebee in the first episode was a weird flying saucer car with tires that looked like it hovered, and Wheeljack looked like an armored hoverboat. But they were still very clearly vehicles, and even so, I think these figures all look cool as hell. And when they finally came out, they lived up to all the hype I've been giving them. I was so happy, and I was so excited for what came next. So imagine my disappointment when they announced the next line was just going back to regular Earth modes. And we never even got a space Wheeljack because some people had to vote for the Impactor vs. Mirage 2-pack. Thanks guys, that turned out super well. But then we actually get into it and it's like, ugh, no. Wave 1. We get a decent Wheeljack figure with some weird arms, but sadly it's worse than this Legend scale figure I got for free because I ordered something else, and not because of the killer paint job on the Legends figure. A pretty good hoist. Plastic's a bit thin and honestly it reminds me of these terrible old Go-Bus figures from the 90s I used to get from Rite Aid, but that's almost a benefit. A weird but ultimately interesting ironworks, though I gotta ask why it's a gas station with a steam shovel attached to the top of it incapable of reaching the ground. You'd think they'd have put some treads on the figure so you can make a steam shovel third mode. This makes for a terrible weapon, by the way. Oh, I have 1,000,000 pounds attached to my arm, and it gives me an extra foot of reach. Thanks. Let's be real, a basically perfect grapple, but it turns out a basically perfect grapple is a really boring figure. It transforms exactly as it should, and that is actually a rock simple and dull conversion. And then you end up with this very orange guy. The level of visual interest in this bro is easily the lowest in my entire collection. This one is going to be contentious for most people. I don't like this Optimus Prime. I know, it's like I'm criticizing the second coming of Christ based on everyone else's opinion of it, but I just don't like this thing. Arms are too short, legs are way too long, his window pecs jut out like a wannabe Shockwave, his waist is scrawny, and I normally wouldn't care about that, but all his proportions are wrong and his butt flap looks ridiculous. Honestly, that's the result of the double-edged sword that is his incredibly clean robot mode. There's a single piece of kibble on this entire figure, and it's this big strip taped to his ass. Unlike the more kibbly but better Siege Prime, this isn't integrated in any way, it's just stuck to his ass. Like he sat down on a chair with a board that had a nail sticking out of it. His transformation is interesting and fun, but I'm really getting sick of this fake stomach and truck grill thing that's been happening. Like for some reason, someone decided that everyone gives a shit that his grill in truck mode is an exact shape, and his grill in robot mode is a different one. No one cares. This fake grill BS is way more annoying, and all of those flawed figures were the good ones in the wave. Next up, we got an awful Starscream that's a retool of a figure over a decade old. Let me be frank here. I got no time for a Starscream that has a nose cone draped across his back. I am sick of seeing this. How is it that Titans Return Blitzwing has the best Seeker transformation we've ever seen? Why has this not been incorporated into actual Starscream molds? His feet are wrong, his wings pop off with no provocation, his intakes are weirdly skinny, his chest is weirdly puffy, the damn thing is so ugly, everything about it is just off. And then you got this truly wretched Cliffjumper. Let me be clear here. I am not angry because it's small, I'm angry because it sucks. It's yet the umptillionth retool of the Masterpiece Bumblebee, but to make it more interesting than just that, they decided to ruin it. It's a parts former now. What is this nonsense I'm seeing where people are praising parts forming now? Get off my planet, are you serious? This sucks. This sucks so bad. I'd have been more happy with an exact copy of the Masterpiece Bumblebee rather than this new version that's actually worse. And then his arms are too stumpy to do anything. Now, he's got an admittedly pretty cool gun, but what is this on the back? An engine block? The weird part is you have to take this thing off if you want it to fire like a real bazooka, because even though there's a 5mm port on the back, it's got these channels built into it that prevent you from sticking anything in it. There's gotta be a reason for this. It has to go to something. But the only pegs on this figure are the ones on the backpack, and they're like these weird C shapes that don't fit. Oh. Why? And after all that, somehow, the first wave was the good one. It's like they went, hey guys, here's the figures you just bought again, but we ruined them. Okay, first off, I can admit this. This is a better version of the Siege mode. They retooled it, they improved it. I personally preferred the Cyber style, but this is a better product. And let's not forget Skylinks. Like, when Commander Class was first announced, I was like, Commander Class Skylines. Please, Commander Class Skylines. Please, 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 Commander Class Skylines. Well, actually, I was more like, Titan Class Skylines. Please, Titan Class Skylines. Please, please, please. But if nothing else, Commander Class Skylines, please. And this figure is not a disappointment. To be honest, I did want more aggressive looking feet, and the wings don't peg in quite tight enough, but I am tremendously happy with what we got. But then you have this. Here's the same figure, but with 100% more parts forming. And here's the amazing part. It doesn't even look good with the parts forming. The shoulders are just jutting out from the sides. And if you lose this stupid parts forming piece, you might as well just throw the figure away, because there is no more transforming it. Unlike Cliffjumper, there is no angle this looks good from without the extra piece. And then we jump to Megatron, the same figure you just bought, but worse. This damn thing is so ugly, and they replaced the barrel sword with this weird arm-mounted spear that can't be held in a natural way and can't make use of the range that spears offer? This ugly goddamn thing is supposed to look more like the original cartoon? Are you fucking kidding me? Then we have this unbelievably terrible shell-forming RC. I don't know that there's ever been a worse figure of her made. Then there's Snapdragon, the figure with elbows that bend further backwards. Guys, how did you screw that up? Then you get to the Alicon. Really? We're just gonna leave his arms chilling on the sides? Not gonna do anything to try and hide them? His damn head flips out, his arm flips back, and that's what they call a transformation. There are so many Chinese knockoffs that put in more effort than that. Real talk? What business does this have being $30? And then we got a double dealer that's okay, but this bird mode sucks something wretched, and incorporating it just makes the figure worse. He's so puffy to accommodate such a bad mode. I would have literally been happier if they had just cut the third mode and slimmed down the figure. After that, we got a retool of one of the better Earthrise figures in the works. A new Sunstreaker that may have some promise. A Runamuck that might be good. And, ugh, no. No, thank you. But yeah, I'm just sick to death of seeing all the optimism people have when talking about this line. Guys, stop, please! You can't let Hasbro think this is okay. Don't let them normalize lazy parts forming like this. Don't accept it! They'll only get worse if you reward this. Please, for the sake of all future lines, do not buy these awful parts forming figures. Well, that's the most negative review I've made to date, but I really do feel this way about this line. If you liked what you saw here, I don't know that I'll make too many more videos like this, but please, do all that stuff that everyone else tells you to do at the end of these videos. And if you want to take it a step further, share this video with a friend you think might be interested. I hope you all enjoyed listening to me waste your time.